Hippocracy. I feel like that's kind of a driving force for me. I don't realize it usually though. I don't think about that. But I was just thinking about it and I kind of felt a familiarity, like a deep down familiarity, like yeah, this is kind of what pushes you a little bit. I think I've talked about being unoriginal, but I'm learning about myself. I've known I've known lots of things about me, but I've always been kind of confused by myself, by my like, a little bit. Like I never really understood. I there's lots of things about myself I don't understand. They're hard to put into words, but I think they're important to know. Like hypocrisy. When I look around at the people around me, the world around me, what troubles me the most is lack of authenticity, fakeness. Just like no, that's like not like lack of integrity and it's just those things just really bother me. Wishy-washy, just telling you what you want to hear, pandering and selfishness and I have some of these qualities at least on occasion, right? Eh, Only human, I'm trying to survive, I assume, and I'll say things that I don't mean maybe. I I don't do it consciously, but I'm sure I still do it. Definitely have done it before. And you know what when I argue animal rights stuff sometimes, um, I'll, I'll talk about reasons and I'll talk about, virtue and things like that because that's where it's supposed to come from. I thought I mean, that's the goal. So I'm kind of like, so I mention that sometimes in debates and, people don't like that. They say virtue signaling as if a way to discredit what I'm saying. I think I get it because they see the world around them also, and they see a bunch of inauthenticity and when someone historically virtue talks about their virtue, they usually it's projecting or it's inauthentic. It's hypocritical. And I know that I know I'm flawed. And I know I'm not great at lots of things. And I don't want this. I don't like. I don't like what the connotations are of this. I don't like the connotations of that. What I just said. It's all very awkward, and that is frustrating because what I want is honesty and integrity and truth. Why don't we all want that? It's hard to get to because there's all this selfishness built into the natural human condition. And when you say that, when you want integrity, which kind of means you're you're not about yourself, you're about the truth, and that's kind of a selfless direction, a kind of selfless energy. But yet everyone knows we're all at least a little bit selfish because we're here to survive and we're all these individuals and we got to look out for ourselves. So how do we honestly talk about honesty? How do we I think we have to, in every conversation apparently, maybe, admit our flaws. And yes, caveat, I'm not perfect and I'm a hypocrite and I'm flawed as fuck and I'm but I do recognize, and you please believe me when I say this, the value of integrity. I don't believe that should be weird to hear. It's a, we've seen examples of this in people. It's not unheard of to think that an ordinary dude values integrity. Yet it feels awkward to talk about. And that's funny. Juxtaposition. Ironic? Possibly. Anyways, I don't know. When I look around me and I see so many examples of inauthenticity and lack of integrity and hypocritical nature and pandering and all the bullshit that really bothers me, I don't necessarily identify with it. I don't. I don't hate it because it's me. I hate it because it's dumb. It's not the goal. It's not what people should be striving for in my opinion. Why can't we strive towards a society of integrity, a society of honesty, and I guess because there's so much crime and potential for people screwing people over, and that you have to play this game or else you're going to get left behind or something. Like if you don't screw people over, you're going to get screwed over. And I think I have this theory. I've mentioned it before in some of my rants that one of the core kind of differences between kind of lefties and righties is the strength of this feeling, um, like not in my backyard stuff, or um, my father, who I have respect for. He taught me a lot about love and respect. He did, but he also would say things, and he voted Republican. He would say things like, "They're all out to screw you," and I think he disenchanted. He's the system doesn't really work for people who don't kind of cheat. You know, the system, since there's been so much cheating in our system, it rewards cheating because the cheaters have kind of leveraged. Cheating works because the cheaters have cheated and made it work that way. So now our system, you know, you have to be a landlord and screw people over out of rent. By that's what works. And if you ask for advice, financial advice, people will tell you get into real estate and get renters. Be a landlord. That's good advice in America. Fuck people over. That's good advice in America. It's true. Go out there, ask people. They'll say shit like play the stock market, and where it's not a zero sum game. Someone's going to lose if you win. I mean, that means that it is a zero sum game. Sorry. I always get so confused by that. Not always. It is a zero sum game. Someone has to lose for you to win. So congratulations on your win. Someone just lost. What? That's are we not clever enough to come up with a better way to interact? There's enough energy, guys. We can share. I'm not a communist for saying that. I mean, maybe. Who gives a shit about that fucking words? Sharing is not a bad thing. We're a society. There's a meme for that, isn't there? Can't remember what it is. This is a society, or so we live in a society. I don't know where it comes from, but I've heard it because I've said such things in debates and have been met with memes. It's like there's no room for integrity. I mean, that what choice do I have? I can't. There's no way I could be comfortable in life. I, how do people how do people charge rent and sleep well? Is because they're just not thinking about it, right? Disassociated, maybe. I mean, that's the game. They're just looking out for themselves. That's what America is kind of. It's kind of a tenet of our American ideology is look after your own ass. Great, great, nice job, America. Well, it's not working obviously for everyone because I mean, just look around. I I don't know how reason why I'm making this video for myself is I want to know how to feel about myself. I want to be comfortable with my desire for trying to get it right. And it's weird because I I I have my ideals, and when I let myself feel them, I also have this voice saying that you're a hypocrite, right? I don't want that voice. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't like I want to be I want to respect myself. That's all. That's what basic self-respect. That's like a bare minimum. I feel like it should be. There's no way a guy like Donald Trump respects himself. He has to go to bed. The poor bastard has to go to bed at night disassociated. He has to tell himself a little prayer at night saying, I don't know what he has to do. I have no idea what you have to do to be that because he's like the most extreme version of, the narcissist, the lacking of integrity thing. So I can only imagine what his life is like. It's a whole different wiring of his brain, I'm sure. His thoughts are totally different. The way that his brain works. I've always not always. I've had a strong theory or a theory for myself that I felt was very strong. Where like I feel like we're all very much the same, all humans, and whenever I meet anyone, I see myself in them a lot. I know that we're very similar. I see, like every mannerism I've ever seen in anybody else, I've seen in myself, just about. I mean, I can't remember my narcissism. I'm sure I still have some thanks in the comments. I'm sure, but I don't recognize. I don't understand it now if it is there. I mean, I could understand, but it's so far from. It's so against my. See here, I'm going on my. See, I feel like I'm on a high horse. I'm virtue signaling, and that's annoying. How do I talk about this stuff without that feeling? I don't know. Just accept it, say it, acknowledge it. I can't even. I don't know where I was anymore. So I was talking about what is it like? What that would. Okay. I used to have a theory that we're all the same, and the differences are basically just skin deep. But then I started thinking about the brain and how it does, wire itself. And there's wirings and the connections are made and they're reinforced and there's a wiring that happens. A physical wiring. The neurons are like little wires and they connect the way they connect. People's brains are connected differently. So it's not unheard of. It's probably how it is that a guy like Donald Trump has a whole different way of thinking than me. And yes, I think my way is better. But how do I get comfortable with that idea? I don't I'm not comfortable with someone being better than someone else. I don't think that's I I can't defend that. I mean, for sure, you ask Donald Trump, he will say, "Yeah, clearly I'm better." In his own, he'll say that he is better than me or whoever. For sure, I guarantee you, he feels that way. He has to. If he didn't, he would be in a lot of trouble in his own mind. He would not be able to sleep at night if he did not feel that way because he has cheated so much. He's built his whole life cheating because that's his culture. I don't know. He feels entitled, I'm sure. I've seen some documentaries about the ultra wealthy and how they view the world. It's frightening. The guy, the son of Johnson and Johnson people, he made a little documentary that I remember watching, and he didn't come out. I don't remember his points, but I remember taking away the energy. I remember I had a takeaway from the video from his documentary that I would watch the energy of these people he was interacting with. They, like the dad seemed like he didn't want any part of it. He's like, I'm just enjoying my life of retirement, and I don't want to even talk about this or mention it because I think clearly he has a conscience, and he's like, I can't make sense of this life that I've made or that I've been a part of. So he's like, I don't even talk about it. That's probably how I would be maybe if I was living that life. I probably would be disassociated. But the kid is obviously was this is 20 years ago. Struggling with these things and like how what this is not necessarily good what we're doing. How we're living. People are starving and we're living this way. So he asked some fun questions and it was a really interesting documentary. I don't know if it's even available to find anymore. Might be. I haven't seen it anywhere, but I did watch it. And he goes to a party with Ivana, the young Trump woman, Trump's daughter. Ivana, I don't know. And she's clearly enjoying being a socialite and clearly feels. I mean, you could tell she's smart and like a good person on the inside. You could see that the kindness, but there's definitely a layer of there's a wall that's up. Like you're good on this side of the wall. You're allowed to be kind. This side of the wall you put up, yeah, kindness is you're kind in this world. This world, and I think that's kind of how Trump feels, and that's how people see him. In his world, he is kind. He's a nice guy, so long as this wall is up. But this wall is blocking like 99% of reality. So good job being a nice guy in 1% of reality. I don't have a number, so I'm not measuring reality. But 20 minutes long. Sorry. Just gotta rant sometimes. I get a thought and I want to share it. Is my phone gonna die? Yes. All right, I gotta go. I guess I gotta clean this kitchen. I got some dishes to do and stuff. Might have some people over. Social, whatever. See you.